Hello, Colin here, and today I want to give you guys some of my top blog content ideas to drive targeted traffic to your website. So if you have a Shopify or other e-commerce business and you're not currently building blog content, you are missing out on one of the most valuable free forms of marketing. So if you consistently build valuable content, this will pay massive dividends down the road. Now, before we jump into them, I want to mention a few things that are important to keep in mind or do a little research before you start building content. So there's a couple of resources that will help with this. One is Google Analytics. So if your website isn't set up with Google Analytics, make sure it is, because this is going to provide you with key metrics that you can use to build your blog content. The other one is the Shopify Dashboard. The Shopify Dashboard doesn't offer as much detail as Google Analytics does, but it can give you some important feedback. Some of the things you should know is who is your ideal customer. So which customers are your highest revenue producing customers or your highest converting customers? And when I say that, you should know things like how old are they, or what age demographic do they fall into? Are they under 25? Are they between 35 and 45? Are they 60 plus? Because the content that you would produce for those different demographics would be very different. Are they male or female? So for my previous business, I had 80% conversions from males. So a lot of the content that I'm building, I am building for a male audience. Something else that you should be aware of is where are they geographically located? So for me, being in Canada, I am going to be building resources that will use the keywords of Canada. And if I get even more specific, one of my most highly converting areas was Alberta, the province of Alberta. So I would actually build content specifically to target Albertans within my niche. So keeping some of that in mind will be very useful as you go about the process of building your content. There's a few other things that you really should be aware of as you start building your blog content. You need to know a little bit about search engine optimization and the keywords that you're going after. So if you don't know much about SEO, I suggest you at least start doing some basic research on this before you go about building your posts, and know the keywords that you're targeting, because you want to throw those keywords into your content in places like the title, the headings, the body of any pieces of content, the meta description, the URLs. You want to be aware of those and be using those keywords consistently. Also, as you go about writing your content, you want to elegantly link to your products. And you want to do this, in my opinion, in a non-invasive way. So people should be able to just read the content. If they want to skip over the products, they can do that and still learn something. But you will elegantly be driving traffic to those product pages. The other thing you always want to keep in mind when you're making blog posts is include a call to action at the bottom of the post. You don't want to leave somebody unsure of what to do once they get to the bottom of your post. So always include a call to action, whether that's linking them to a product, linking them to another piece of content. Just make sure to drive them, ideally still within your website, to another piece of content or that product, and keep their attention while they're on your site. So something that I've had a lot of success with in the past, especially early on when you're building a product or a brand, is doing lists of blogs or influencers in your niche. And basically the way to think about this is blogs are not going to necessarily be competitors with you. So blogs are fighting for traffic. They want visitors. They make money by having people go to their websites, and they basically sell marketing. Versus you are trying to sell a specific product. So most blogs aren't selling a competing product, and you don't need to necessarily look at them as a competitor. You can work together. So if you make lists of some of the top influential blogs in your niche, and you now position some of these blogs as authority figures, they are going to be interested to share that content with their audience. So in this way, it can be very mutually beneficial. So you make the list, you post it onto social media and tag them. Then if they actually reshare that piece of content, that list can now get in front of thousands and thousands of people at zero cost, completely for free. So this is a really great way to create a win-win situation where they are perceived as authority figures and you can get a piece of content in front of a lot of people. So another strategy that I've had a lot of success with in the past is customer highlights. And what I mean by that is doing an in-depth interview with one of your customers and ask them a series of questions or help shine a light on them so that future customers can learn from them. So you want to ask them questions that are going to add value to future customers and potentially give you ideas for future products or things that you can do to improve. So I'll give you a few examples. You could ask a customer, what do you know now that you've been using the product for X amount of months that you wish you knew before? Or are there any complementary products that you recommend to help with your experience with X product that you sell? You want to do this in a way that is mutually beneficial. So you want to build the post or the content in a way that will encourage them to want to share it with others. So if they're a business, being able to highlight their business. Where can people learn more about their business? So they are benefiting from a little bit of awareness, and you benefit because if they share it with their audience, you are now exposed to more people. So what I did is I basically just had a template of 10 or 15 questions that I would email off to customers, ask them if they're interested in being my customer of the month. If they agreed, I'd just say, on your own time, could you send me your answers to these questions along with a picture of you using my product? Now, some people will reject it, and that's totally fine, but as long as you get a few of these, ideally at least one a month, you can build a lot of content, and it's valuable because people can learn from your customers. Another strategy that I've had a lot of success with, but you have to be quite strategic about, is converting a press release to a blog post. So if you have an event going on, a digital event, or you're launching a new product and you're trying to get press for it, so you've already made a press release. If you simply convert that to a blog post, so change the language a little bit and make it more of a reading as opposed to an announcement, this can really help to drive targeted traffic. And in the past, I've had success with this, and I can give you an example. So I was running an in-person event, and I sent out a press release to all the local media. Unfortunately, I got next to no response in terms of anybody following up with me. So I took that press release, converted it to a blog post that I then put on Reddit. And all of a sudden, I started getting a lot of traction, and reporters actually started calling me because I made this post on Reddit about the event. So you may be actually really surprised if you have a press release, converting that to a piece of blog content can be a really easy way to help with search engine optimization and to bring attention to whatever it is you're trying to get press for. Another great one, and this is something that you should always pay close attention to, is common questions or common problems that your customers have. So if you have even two customers come back to you with the same question, or if they have the same problem, this could be a great chance to make a piece of content that you can then share with future customers who are going to have the same question or may have the same problem. And I'll give an example. So let's say you are selling electric scooters and you have customers come back to you and they're asking how to change the bearing or maybe just the wheel on their scooter once it's worn out. So you just make a piece of blog content that walks through step by step how to change the bearing or how to change the wheel so that all the future customers can learn from that. Not only that, when somebody types into Google how to change the bearing or the wheel on an electric scooter, your piece of content could come up. And if you sell the bearings or the wheels, then this could help create future customers. So again, this is a great thing to keep in mind. If you even get two customers who are asking you the same question or have the same problem, it's a great opportunity to build pieces of content and keep doing this consistently. Another really good content idea is to do comparison posts. So if you sell multiple different models of a similar product or slightly different variants, it's a great idea to do a post specifically to highlight what makes each of those slightly different. And this is where you can say what key benefits certain customers might be looking for. So in the post, you could highlight the slight differences about what makes each model slightly different or which customer would be looking for the benefits of that particular model. The thing to keep in mind is if It may sometimes be difficult for customers to understand the slight nuances of what makes a technical product especially different, and doing a comparison post can really help highlight that. And if people are posting the question of what makes this product different than this product into Google, your piece of content could be found first. So the last one that I want to mention is a product highlight or a product feature. So if you have a particular product that you are trying to drive more traffic to, or maybe you're just launching something brand new, this is the perfect time to do a blog post about it. Now, the thing to keep in mind is you don't want to have duplicate content on the blog post and the product page. So in the past, what I've done is do more of a basic summary, so highlight the key benefits in the blog post with links to then drive the traffic to the product page. So again, it's important for SEO that you don't want to have duplicate content, but you can use, again, those key benefits, use it more as a summary, get people interested and make them want to go to the product page to learn more. So again, this is a great way to help with your SEO because you can then have keywords in multiple locations for the blog post and the product page to get more people interested, and especially if they're searching for that, you'll be more likely to be found for those keywords. So there you go. Those are some of my top blog content ideas to help drive targeted traffic to your website. I hope you found this useful. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.